It's not often that you see an FPS title innovate on a foundational level. I mean, how many different ways can you spin up spawning in, shooting, and finishing a match? How many different games will come in with the same TDM kill race, domination, capture the flag mode, singular life bomb planting or defusal mode? Iconic elements, yes, but you rarely see any twists on that formula. Today, I want to talk a little bit about a game that, in the expectations of their own lead devs, won't be the next blockbuster. They don't want to take down Call of Duty or Battlefield. It's not their aim, but they want to make an enjoyable shooter for all that can challenge the standard shooter loop that you may be used to. This is War Dogs. Drop your thoughts as we go along, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe for more FPS content. And if you'd like to join in on conversations as they happen live, keep an eye out for the streams in the morning and afternoon on the channel and over on Twitch. Right now, about every other day, I'd love to chat with you. But for now, let's take a look at War Dogs. So first, right up front, let's not call this a COD killer, a Battlefield killer, nothing like that. That's kind of the kiss of death for games, and as Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. So I feel like every single shooter that comes out now, players kind of adopt this, can it dethrone Call of Duty? Can it dethrone Battlefield? These massive franchises that have been around for 10, 20 years at a time. And for this, it's not about the numbers. It's about the experience, as stated directly from the developers. Even the CEO of Bulkhead, the team behind this game, has publicly stated, I just want everyone to know War Dogs is looking for 3,000 to 10,000 concurrent players, and that's success for us. We will have more at launch, and it will fall off quick. Tourists come and go. We're supporting the game for 3,000 to 10,000 players, the benefit of being triple I or triple independent. So this doesn't need to be a big thing, but hopefully it's a game that you can enjoy, as they've said throughout multiple different developer interviews and everything. This is a game they wanted to make based off of what they enjoyed, sharing their love, the spin of the niche, with anyone who wants to check it out. But what is War Dogs? Well, right now it's an in-development tactical all-out warfare FPS title, a large-scale 100-player sandbox with a King of the Hill style combat system, destructible and constructible map layouts where players will fight for control of randomized zones to reach the end goal of 100 points. Their mission focus is creating an immersive game base around communication with your squad, vehicle play, and large-scale combat. Now, we talked about innovation, right? There's only so much you can do with the standard formula of a shooter, right? Well, that's where things kind of take a little bit of a different turn here. It takes things like the base of Arma's King of the Hill and then builds off of that. You have 100 players across 3 teams. Statistically, how's that work out? Yes, there very well could be one team that does have one extra player, but matches are up to 100 players. Your squad, there's no squad limit. It allows you to play solo with one extra friend, or if you can somehow pull it off, upwards of 98 others. Something that in standard shooters, you don't see too much in. Thinking about a 99-person party, that would be, I mean, how do you even pull that off in a Discord or something? That's just insane. Anyways, your objective in match is to fight over the control zone. Every 30 seconds, whichever team has more players in that control zone ends up getting a point. The goal of which is to then reach 100 points for the win. So if you're keeping track, yeah, these matches are going to last a little bit of time. 1 point for 30 seconds. Pure domination would equal 100 points at 30 seconds each, 2 points a minute, or 50 minutes for a clean sweep match. So add in the other teams vying for points themselves, this is going to extend quite a bit of time. Something that will see players come and go, with matches auto-populating as they fill up. In-game, you'll end up having an economy where every single life you can build a custom loadout before jumping into battle, fitting however you feel like playing the game. If you want to be a demolition expert, you can. If you want to be an infantry player, you can. If you want to be a sniper, you can. If you want to be a pilot, you can. You see where I'm going with this? It's kind of like Counter-Strike and other games of similar fashions. They're buy phases, where each of these items, of course, cost cash. Now to start, you end up having 10,000 to work with, but you can obtain more as you go along for just about any sort of action and team play you make. Things like healing teammates or reviving teammates, killing enemies, piloting players into the control zone, so on and so forth. It's all going to bank you more cash. Profits from each match will bank match to match. So your economy is always something that's in motion, and you can always work towards it. Whether or not you have a good or bad match doesn't mean it's always going to be a wash or the best time ever. Some matches you'll gain a profit, some you'll take a loss, but it's all about the rebound and that team play to get yourself back up. This encourages and rewards team play rather than just saying, hey, you should be a team player. Now, the hot zone is a subzone inside the control zone, a sort of secondary, more finite focal point. This will move around the control zone as the match progresses, where inside of that, cash payouts for all actions are doubled. But you also have to be conscious that everybody else knows that same detail. So you're going to see a lot more compact action and perhaps a lot more tense engagements. Players also count towards double in your team's count when inside that hot zone. So the more players going for that hot zone ends up helping and can be a massive beneficial swing for your team and the points overall. Each player can choose their own sort of role: assault, medic, recon, support, pilot. All of these will end up giving you additional items for purchase depending on your role that you decide to play as, and it's a unique opportunity to engage with the game. However you want to play, you're afforded the tools to be able to do that. It's an entirely player-driven sandbox, as they say. And finally, destruction and base building is also something you can end up doing, where you bring the chaos to a tactical warfare situation, destroying apartment blocks with rocket launchers. You can tear through the world with heavy armored tanks, but the map itself will react to your presence. But also, if you want to strategize with your teammates, build up some fortified areas, you absolutely can do that as well. So all in all, it's something that takes a little bit of a different spin on the sort of King of the Hill gameplay, this large-scale combat, and adds a little bit more depth and a little bit more replayability in a different way than you may see normally. Now, one cool thing about this game and the team at Bulkhead is that they've been openly transparent with a lot of what we can see upcoming, doing a bunch of Q&As, doing a bunch of explainers about how things will work both in the game and in their development. So let's talk a little bit about some of these high-level points they've hit on before. Firstly, when it comes to a game in today's day and age, you kind of expect there to be some sort of in-game currency to buy, some sort of microtransaction to keep the lights on for the studio, for better or for worse. Well, they were asked point blank, can you buy in-game currency with real-life currency? And it was a resounding no. Now, it was said in a more colorful term, but it was said, and quote, "We're not a big AAA studio that needs millions and millions of dollars to keep the lights on. We're not trying to be this massive player-based game. We're not trying to beat Battlefield or take on COD. We're making a game that we want to make because we want to play it. In terms of monetizing it, I'm staunchly against having paid skins in the game. When you see a player with skins, you should know that that player has earned that through their actions in the game, not that they have more money." So in today's day and age, definitely a nice thing to hear when it comes to how those plans will happen. Progression, they were asked, will we be able to unlock things by playing the game outside of gun accessories or other things? In which that was yes. Everything in the game is going to be accessible through progression, content related, and how you play. The more you play, the more you unlock. The way you play unlocks certain things, and cash, as always, is key. Every single item you can end up getting is also lootable in world, so the chance that you can pick it up as well. As for performance, the big question with this one is, well, I mean, it's a UE5 game, so Unreal Engine is oftentimes kind of terribly optimized, we'll put it that way. And 100 players with gigantic maps here, how's that gonna work? They said this was something that performance was a thought on day one and one of the most important things to them. There's a lot of things going on in localized zones, but they're doing their best efforts to make it something that isn't going to require you to have a 5090 with a ton of frame gen to run just at 60 FPS. Matchmaking was something they touched on as well, where there's not going to be any sort of skill-based or aggression-based matchmaking. They're only going to be using server browsers, which for a big player base that we've seen in the last year, that is a very welcome idea to have and something that I'm sure will please a lot of players. And the last two things really come down to access of play. Will this be PC only, or is it coming to console? Well, at first, it is going to be PC. It's going to be releasing in PC early access here in the future. But right now, while it's on PC, console is absolutely a thought of development and how they want to bring this over to another player base as well. They just don't have a time frame for when that will be just yet. And finally, when does this launch and when can you play it? When is a playtest? Early access is going to launch later in 2026, probably sometime around Q3 or Q4. Q4 probably being a more realistic time frame and probably something that I'm sure the devs would be like, yeah, let's give us a little more time to work this out before we actually launch. But they did mention that playtests will be starting earlier than that. So sometime in probably Q2, maybe sometime in the summer here, players will be able to get their hands on and check it out. Now, the early access is going to be something they launch into on Steam, and they're going to be in early access for about 12 to 24 months so that they can continue to build the game out with the audience they accumulate, building this game communally with the players. So all in all, War Dogs is going to be trying to shift that mold here of what you see with the FPS genre, giving you something that is familiar yet new at the same time in a deeply rewarding fashion for team play, communication, and more on a replayable scale. Personally, I'm really interested to see what this game has to offer. Seeing a project like this being a bit more ambitious, being something that is more focused on the core gameplay, team play, and not having everything paired out into a million different modes, it's definitely something that I'm interested in to see how this will work out and to see if they can catch that lightning in a bottle. So let me know your thoughts down below. Wanted to share with you guys a new project here that we've yet to talk about on the channel, but I think it'd be interesting. Let me know your thoughts on it. You're looking forward to it? Not so much. Drop your thoughts. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things FPS titles. Would love to have you in the community as we talk about our normal stuff and then plenty of stuff upcoming, sharing new and cool experiences with you. But that said, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.